In this lecture, we will talk about resource owner flow, which is also known as username and password flow. So this is the flow that I have designed. Here is a resource owner or the client application where end user is clicking on login button. Then application is sending some information to the authorization server, and this information contains the client credentials, that means username and password, the client ID of your connected application, client secret, and this will be sent using the auth token endpoint. There is no authorization flow. That is why we said that resource owner. In a very first step itself, you are going to get the ID token and access token. So once this application sent all these information to authorization server, this authorization server is going to validate. Once you have got this or authorization server have validated all the information, and if everything is valid, authorization server is going to return you ID token and access token. And then with the help of this ID token and access token application, our client can send the request to access the protected resources. So here is what a sample request looks like whenever we talked about resource owner flow. So this is the endpoint URL to the token. This is the endpoint URL for our Auth0 account that we have set up, but we are going to use our Salesforce account for this demo. The content type must be application by X URL form encoded. It will always be same for all the username and password flow. And this is a kind of request body that we need to post into our authorization server, in this case Salesforce, where grant type will always be the password, username will be your username here, the password, and then scope, it is an optional parameter which depends on API to API because Salesforce doesn't support this scope parameter. Then you have got the client ID from your connected application, client secret from your connected application. So let's quickly see this into the demo. So we are here inside our connected application. You already know how to set up the connected application and what are the different fields and the parameters that we already have discussed in our early lectures. So we have got this client ID, we have got the client secret, just copy paste somewhere inside your notepad. So I have copied my client ID and then I have copied my client secret as well. These are my username and password. And then you can see here, these are all the scopes that we already have defined inside our connected application. That is why Salesforce doesn't support scope parameter when we talked about resource owner flow. And this callback URI doesn't play any role in this password flow, but we must need to provide some dummy callback URI. So this is the setup of our application, and to prepare the body, as we already have discussed, grant type always going to be a password. Then we have got our client secret, the exact value of our client ID that we have got, sorry, client ID. Then we have got client secret, the exact value that we have there inside the application, your username and your password. Sometimes you also need to provide the security token along with the password. So suppose that your password is this is what I have, and then you have got some sort of security token, okay, like this. So you have some security token over here. So how you need to provide is, you need to provide your password colon security token. So in password will be, instead of Udemy at the rate 2020, it will be Udemy at the rate 2020 colon the security token. So if you have your security token handy, you must need to provide. If you don't have security token handy, you need to reset your security token. So how you can reset that security token here is, you just need to go to your my settings, and under the my settings you need to go to personal, and here you will see an option for reset my security token. If you don't see that option, you don't need to worry about that. You don't need to uh, send the security token over here. So just copy this body. Now what we will do is, first thing, this is the URL for us. URL also depends on platform to platform. Suppose that if you are using Sandbox, then it will be test.salesforce.com/services auth2 token. If you are using production or any developer environment, it will be login.salesforce.com. So it is going to depend on what environment you are trying to authenticate. We are using developer environment, we will be using login.salesforce.com. So here is our request, we are going to use this. As we know, to get the access token, we always use a post request. We'll select the method as a post. We'll go to the header. We will select content type. So the content type will always be that we have just discussed, URL form encoded. We have just selected. Go to the body, select raw format and keep this as a text. And then get back to your notepad where you have prepared the complete body. Paste it over here and then send it. So as soon as you click on send here, you can see that you have got the access token. Access token is a combination of your organization ID and some sort of access token. Here is your instance URL, the main URL that will be used to make the API call when your access token has been issued. What is the token type, which is a bearer, and then the signature. Now, if you wanted to use your access token, you can just quickly copy this, go to your different URL. You can go here, you can use get request as well, and you just need to set authorization, and it is going to be bearer followed by space and your access token. So you will see here bearer space access token, and here you also need to say that you wanted to get the S objects. You wanted to get the list of S objects. I'm not sure if this is correct URL, but we can see here. So this is the error. This URL is not correct. We might need to go to we might need to check what URL is that. So for that, what we'll quickly do is we'll quickly go to Workbench, log in into the Workbench so that we can test it. So once you are here in the Workbench, click on Utilities, go to REST Explorer, and we have got here. So this is the URL that we need to hit. So we can just go here, copy, and then paste that URL over here, remove 1// send it, and this time we got all these responses over here, right? So we have got all these. Now we wanted to get the S object list. We can go ahead and append this S object over here, and then we hit enter. We'll see all the S object list. So we got like we have got some. Yep, now it is quite prettified. So we can just go ahead. We've got as objects like as we have got accepted. If you wanted to have some sort of suppose that we wanted to have an account, we can just copy this here, and then we say that / account, and then click here. We will get all the information about the account. So that's how we can make the request here. Again, we have got this ID. You wanted to get the information about this account. You can again go ahead and append this ID, send it. So that's how our resource owner flow works. Password, username and password flow works. So this is it for this lecture, and we'll meet into the next lecture with a new flow. Thank you.